Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about the May 11th, 2021 new moon in Taurus, part 2 of 2. And what I want to get at, as far as this transit goes, it's also very important. Look at the aspects it makes to points in your natal chart, as of course this could impact the delineation and interpretation. Now, as I've stated before, it's going to conjunct my ascendant. So my natal Taurus ascendant. What I didn't state is that it's also going to make a conjunction. It's also going to make a conjunction to my natal Saturn in my 12th house. Now, that conjunction to the ascendant can simply indicate or suggest there could be added, perhaps, a vitality and energy in doing so. May reinforce the fact this is a new beginning, but the fact that because the first house, of course, is associated with new beginnings, it's associated with vitality and energy, and the new moon is the same, is basically, essentially the same in its energy, because the new moon can give us that abundance of surfeit of energy and vitality, and also signifies new beginnings. But the fact that it's going to make a conjunction to my natal Saturn as well could manifest to me doing so with more discipline, seriousness, and might require certain laborious effort. Saturn, of course, is connected with hard labor. Now, and being in Taurus, very persistent energy as well, I would say, and with strong powers of concentration. Now, again, this is going to fall at 21 degrees Taurus. Now, as far as the Sabian symbols go, this may be expressed in the beginning of a very shrewd financial undertaking. Just don't get involved in any Ponzi schemes, people. Remember that the man, and for some reason it's not the name is not coming to me off the top of my head, but the man who was involved in this Ponzi scheme was a son in Taurus, and I think he was. I think, if I remember correctly, his moon was in Taurus as well, but you might want to confer that on the internet. But what I wanted to say, Bernie Madoff. But anyway, the thing about this is the fact that it's at 21 degrees Taurus, as far as the Sabian symbols go, it can be connected with a very shrewd financial undertaking, and as long as you don't start to feel alone and desolate, and start becoming despondent during this time, pessimism could actually be the worst adversary, and it might be something where it could be something Taurus related that you may embark on that may ultimately end in something very prosperous. And as long as you don't get to the point where you just feel it's going to be fortuitous without putting forth laborious efforts in order to accomplish the task. When I say something Taurus related, of course, that could cover a wide divergence of things. That could be something, for example, as a stockbroker or pawnbroker, or can be doing something with banking, finance, even accounting. I would say architecture, agriculture. And the thing about this too is that it also can manifest in having the vision to see auspicious financial ventures, such as good stocks to invest in. Now, also too, the new moon is going to make a conjunction to the black moon Lilith in Taurus. Now, this may be expressed in maybe a beginning for some of very erotic sexual energy, but such that is very sensual and demonstrative as well, given it's going to be in Taurus. And the thing about this as well, this is also, and it could also at the same time just be very prudent at this time, because the black moon could also be vengeful energy, and it can be to make sure it's not about being vengeful or vindictive and getting somebody back for money or possessions that might have been fraudulently taken from you, illegally taken from you, whether it's from a robbery or burglary, um, extortion, blackmail. If you're going to get it, retaliate, just make sure that you do it through legal means. And anyway, it can be something too where it could also, this conjunction with the black moon may also add fixated and obsessive energy to whatever it is you may start. It could be some beginning of something Taurus related, perhaps with a maybe with a person that's going to play a provocative or prominent role in your life scheme. It could be a start of a connection with the Taurus. A Taurus could be a Taurus sun, moon, or ascendant, or one that simply embodies Taurus characteristics. That could be a very formidable adversary. And it could be some cases that it could also be a prominent woman or family member, which can be associated with the moon, may also be expressing this Taurian energy in a very negative manner, manifestation. It could be simply being overly greedy, avaricious, could be money hungry, possessive. It could be in someone that's indolent, or somebody that's expressing very obstinate or stubborn energy, or holding on to grudges too long, not following through on financial promises, and also being in debt and such, not wanting to spend money as a result, which could be money that could have helped somebody else, as an example. Now, another thing too to keep in mind is that it's also important to look and see if there are transits at your natal chart at this time, other transits, because they will be intensified and amplified because they're taking place at the same time as the new moon in Taurus. Now, for example, again, the transit Black Moon Lilith is going to be making a very tight conjunction to my natal Taurus ascendant. Now, that could indicate, not to be overly negative or pessimistic, now in some cases, or there is a possibility, I should say, that it could indicate some trauma to my physical body, but at the same time, in a positive manifestation, it could also be, could increase uninhibited sexual energy, but it could also be somebody that might figure to play a provocative or prominent role in my life and might be tied into new beginnings, as the first house is associated with that. It could be doing something Taurus related. It can be a finance position, as an example. But it could also be where to be careful is that this could be suppressed anger as well, that other people can readily see, because remember that the first house, our ascendant astrology is connected with qualities and energy that we can naturally express, and people could see readily. So it's also a time, looking at this as well. It's also important when I look at this, not only, this could be something where, again, that somebody might be instrumental, might be a provocative role in my life, may be instrumental in new beginnings. It could also be, some kind of, when I was talking before about suppressed anger, that could be readily seen by others. It might be connected with, maybe it's something persistent or determined goading I've had to deal with, or maybe a limiting financial situation. In some examples, the fact of being in Taurus. And remember that the Black Moon Lilith also has a connection to death, but I don't think I'm going to be thinking about that too much, and I think I'm going to be okay. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back, but anyway. Now, another thing too, that other electional aspects, other electional transits can be significant, because they're going to be taking place simultaneously at the same time as the new moon in Taurus, And that, of course, means that they could be intensified because they're taking place at the same time as the new moon transit. Now, transit Mars in Cancer is going to be squaring Chiron in Aries. And this could be very adverse. Some cases for domestic violence, we might see a strong rise in that at this time. It could be over home property related matters, which could result in some physical wounds. In the fact that Chiron is in Aries, it could be to the head, the face, the skull area. So it's just very, important, because this could be, new moons are basically auspicious in astrology, but that don't mean they can't have, negative energy in many instances, because you could have other electional transits that could be negative, that could be amplified and intensified at that time because they're taking place again at the same time as the new moon transit. And anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying.